Hey everybody, EDGYTIM. Appreciate you stopping by, and can you believe it? We are within, do I dare say, hours of IHSA football season kickoff 2019. Glad to finally have the season here. No more 7-on-7 tournaments, no more indoor 7-on-7 tournaments, no more showcases, no more camps. Strictly football from here on out. Could not be happier and ready to go. All right, week one. Some interesting games this weekend, to say the least. Do I dare say the best games are Saturday? Possibly, but let's break it down. Of course, each week I will give you my thoughts and selections for our Beat Edgy Weekly contest. I'm still trying to remember how long this has been going on. I want to say, I got to say, close to 19 seasons. It's got to be right around there. I had track at one point, and well, you get old, you forget things, but I'm going to say 19th year. Certainly, I think one of the oldest and longest running pick'ems for IHSA football, and I still say one of the toughest because, again, I find the top 10 games, I don't care where they're at in the state, you find 10 really strong games, and they will be on this docket. So, let's go through it game by game. First game up, and this is a game I almost decided to go to. I was really close, and I'll let you in on something. I very seldom promise kids ever that I'm going to go cover their game because, number one, I don't want to pick a game too early and then kind of be held to it. I mean, I still, to this day, I try to go to the best game I can possibly get to. Certainly Fridays are limited to Chicagoland, unfortunately for you out of Chicagoland folks, because of my TV responsibilities. But again, almost this was like 1A as far as I'm concerned. But Antioch at Lake Forest, and again, I find this game very intriguing. Lake Forest is a team that always seems to kind of go under the radar, coming out of the North Suburban. Again, I love the fact that the scouts get tested in that conference week in and week out. Then they get out of regular season, they drop down, if you will, into 6A, and they're always very battle tested when they get into 6A. Antioch last year had a nice run. I believe lost to Notre Dame in the quarterfinals. Caliamantis brothers are back. Trayshawn Watson's a kid that is a big playmaker, and Sequoias are excited. They think this is the year they make a deep run, and I'll tell you right now, it's a little hard to argue against that. This might be, and again, it's no knock to everyone else in the Northern Lake County, but this could be the toughest regular season game all year for the Sequoias. I know that Grays Lake North and certainly Lakes are going to be very good opponents, but I think Lake Forest could bring a little something extra here because, out of respect to Lake Forest, I think this is a really good team this year. So, it comes down, as far as I'm concerned, how effective will the Sequoias offense be with Ethan Caliamanis and his various weapons, and can the Lake Forest defense, which, got some named kids, Mac Uline, linebacker junior, already getting Power 5 offers, Riley Mills. Everyone knows that name, committed to Notre Dame, one of the top defensive linemen in the Midwest. Can that defense step up and get some pressure and maybe make things a little interesting for Ethan? It's going to be a great game. I'm really intrigued. I'm going with Antioch, but this is going to be a close one. I see a 3-point or less kind of deal here. I think it could be really good. So again, taking Antioch there for the win. Barrington at Warren. This is my Friday Send Edgy Game of the Week for NBC Sports Chicago. Great matchup. Two teams that, once again, have high expectations going into the season. Barrington on the road, Joey Sanchez's team. You start with the skills. Tommy Fitzpatrick at quarterback. EJ Darlington, a 3-year starter for Barrington, and can do a little bit of everything. I wouldn't be surprised to see him move into some running back as well as wide receiver. Look for the Broncos to get EJ the ball as much as possible. Defensively, Lucas Van Ness is just absolutely blown up this offseason recruiting-wise. He's put on some good size, and again, verbally committed to Iowa, and some pretty good players on the defensive side as well for the Broncos. Warren Township, great defense last year, and I said it, after I saw the Blue Devils in person. I thought arguably the best defense I saw all year in Chicagoland. A lot of those key pieces are back. You start with Willis Singleton Jr. and Juan De La Cruz and Miller, the inside linebacker. It's only a junior. There are some talented kids on that defense. Offensively is my biggest question for Warren, and it was last year. Phil Hurd is back. He was just a sophomore starter last year, quarterback, so I think that helps. But again, Warren's going to be able to put up points consistently this year. This is a great game. I'm going to take Warren because I'm not going to go against my ranking. But one thing that scares me a little bit, Warren has never beaten Barrington. And let's just face it, Barrington's awfully good. Proved it last year, beat Maine South on the road last year early, and this is a team to watch out for. So I see a really close game here. Maybe, a 21-17 or a 24-21 kind of deal. I will take the home team Warren for the win. Saturday, St. Ignatius from Cleveland travels to Loyola to take on the Ramblers. I selected Loyola as my number one team in the preseason in Chicagoland. Plenty of returning talent back offensively, going to be a young defense, which is a concern. But the talent level, folks, really, really high, especially in the underclassmen group at Loyola. St. Ignatius, no joke, is a serious team coming out of a private school out of Cleveland, Ohio area. I like Loyola, but boy, it is going to be a tough game. I'm hoping the Ramblers can pull this one out. I'm going to pick them to win, but again, that's kind of a pick-em game for me. Arguably one of the most underrated games in Chicagoland on Friday, Coal City at Morris. Local rivalry. Both very solid programs year in and year out. Coal City really, really talented this year. The Kohler fans, and again, I live about 5 miles north of Coal City, so believe me, and I'm about 5 miles east of Morris, so it's kind of right in the heart of my area here. And I know how fired up Coal City fans are, and they're always fired up, but this year in particular, a lot of talent back. Peyton Hutchings, a quarterback, a 3-year starter. Dan Jezik, the running back, he's back returning. Brady Crawford, committed to Upper Iowa as a linebacker, defensive end type. A lot of talent in Morris. 5 starters back on each side of the ball. Zach Redinger is back, kind of a quarterback defensive end. So let's tell you his size and how tough he is. I like Coal City on the road. I just think this Coal City team can wind up in 4A and make some noise in 2019. So I like the Kohlers there. East St. Louis on Saturday night, traveling to Batavia. And wow, what another great game. East St. Louis, it's like an SEC team if you look at it talent-wise. It is crazy talented, and Batavia, all they do is just line up and play smash mouth. Man, this one's tough to pick. I'm going to go with the Water Tower in Batavia, the home team. I think if you're going to get East St. Louis, you want to get them early. It's you get jacked up for week one, and I do, and everybody gets excited. But the thing we always need to remember about week one is that it's week one, and you're going to see some sloppy football. You're going to see some mistakes and some penalties and some turnovers. If East St. Louis can avoid the turnovers and the penalties in this game, I think they got a great shot to win and really send a message statewide about how strong this program is. But, Batavia is no joke. They're a big, strong, physical team. The speed advantage, I think, is going to be on East St. Louis's side. But Batavia kids are tough, and especially playing at home. So I'm going to go with the Bulldogs at home there. But, again, very, very tight game. Joliet Catholic at St. Rita. Joliet Catholic, biggest question, offensive line. Connor Kovas, the only returning starter back. JCA's got some depth, though, and watch the skills. There's a couple of underclassmen that are going to get in the rotation at running back and could make some really serious noise. I couldn't be happier for Kenyatta Williams coming back from injury. Young man, it was tough last year. He got hurt after the first game, missed the rest of the season, and stood on the sidelines to watch JCA win a 5A title. So rooting for him. St. Rita, young talent, but boy, wow, really good young talent. Caleb Brown going to play running back, and Henry Wilson Jr. at wide receiver. And this is a really good Rita team at home. And again, if you go according to the rankings, I got JCA winning this, but boy, oh boy, this could be a trap game for the Hilltoppers as well. So going to go with JCA, but a very, very tight, close game. And one of those games that could go either way. It wouldn't surprise me. Stevenson on the road at Lincoln Way East. Never easy to make that trip down on a Friday for Stevenson, heading down to Frankfort. Again, though, if you're Stevenson, you want to get Lincoln Way East early because it's sometimes there's so much turnover in that program, and you're going to have basically, I'm going to guess, anywhere from 15 to 16 non-returning starters. So some brand new names in that East lineup. And it's a first game and nerves and everything else. And Stevenson brings some experience back. So again, I like that factor, but in the end, I think East is really, really tough and can be really hard to beat at home. So I will take Lincoln Way East. Naperville Central at Hinsdale Central. Well, we're going to find out right away how good both these teams are. Hinsdale Central, they've got to reload a bit, especially offensively in the skills. Some talent there, though. Braden Contreras, the wide receiver, is a really good player. Owen Goss, I'm a big fan of, who committed to Colgate. So there's definitely some talent on Hinsdale Central side. Naperville Central, I mean, you start with Sam Jackson, who moves a quarterback this year. And by the way, Sam Jackson's got a chance to be an all-state caliber kid this year. I'm telling you, he skill-wise and talent-wise could be pretty special at quarterback. Then you throw in, a kid like Jaden Thompson and Reggie Thurima transfers, and another young man from Bloom, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, transferring as well. Very, very explosive Hinsdale Central team. So again, I'm going to take the Redhawks on the road over Hinsdale Central. Maine South, Glenbard West. Again, this has become almost a traditional opening game. Two strong programs playing out at Duchesne on Saturday. Again, Glenbard West defensively, I know Chad Hatlett feels really strong about his defense. Grayson Metz, outside linebacker, certainly a leader in that unit. Where is West at offensively? That always seems to kind of be the mystery and the question going in. But you know that Glenbard West is going to have a good running game and be able to establish the run. Maine South, again, you know what the Hawks are going to do. They're going to spread you out and dink and dunk all over the field. Luke Leongas, only a junior, going to be the starting quarterback. And again, you see these same familiar names at Maine South. And I'm sure Luke's going to wind up being a very strong quarterback. I mean, there's talent there. Ryan Kilburn's a kid that's just very, very impressive on both sides of the ball. So, again, I'm going to almost kind of a pick 'em, but I am going to go with Maine South to pull this one out. And then finally, Cardinal Ritter from the St. Louis area coming up to take on Naz on Saturday afternoon at 4:00. Guys, why is this a 4:00 start? Could you move it back for me a little bit? Just a little. But anyway, Ritter's loaded. I had a chance. I joked I probably spent more time this winter in St. Louis than I did in Chicagoland, watching various camps. Rivals camp was in East St. Louis. Nike camp was in St. Louis. A lot of different recruiting events and what have you. So I saw a lot of Cardinal Ritter kids. Joe Moore is a terrific young man, a great athlete, defensive end. Naz is Naz. Everybody knows, loaded. Start with J.J. McCarthy. A lot of skills. I just think too much talent here for Naz and Ritter. A lot of talent as well, but I just think we're a little bit too explosive for the Roadrunners. So again, my winners here, I'm going with Antioch, Warren, Loyola, Coal City, Batavia, Joliet Catholic, Lincoln Way East, Naperville Central, Maine South, Naz. Tiebreaker points, 51. Don't expect a huge score, but real tight game. So there you go. My picks for week 1. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great week. Go see a football game.